Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday. And I may sound a little different. I'm a little congested. Also, I'm not feeling the best, so I might be a little bit sick. But I'm going to try to get this done as quickly as I can. Now, I am showing off a replay of Yuudachi and the wonderful Tier 8 Premium ship, the Asashio, or aka the Asshole. Yeah, it's a ship. I realized I never actually showed off this ship. I've never actually had a replay, so finally actually have a good replay for you guys today. I am actually right there. I'm in the Tier 8 French battleship, the Richelieu. And this battle, as you can see, has double carriers and a crap ton of Vladivostok. And this obviously makes the Asashio very happy because that is a lot of battleships for it to torp. Because the Asashio is probably best known for torping battleships and not really doing DD stuff. Now, the Asashio does have the ability to have different caliber guns. I don't know what he's currently running. But the Asashio's torps are deep water torps, and they only hit carriers and battleships. So, yes. As you can see, Yuudachi is taking his time, trying to be careful of being not detected by the enemy Shikaku's rocket planes. And surprisingly, he actually manages to get away from it, which is very surprising. Now, he is running torpedo acceleration, which does mean it has cut down on the range of the torpedoes, but 10.9 is nothing to shake a stick at, honestly. It does have the ability of torpedo rearm, which does obviously reduce the cooldown on the torpedo drops. And overall, the torpedoes reload fairly quickly, not the worst, 1 minute and 42 seconds, not too bad, but look at that, that is 16 torpedoes in the water, going towards the enemy Massachusetts, and as always with torpedoes, it does take a little bit of skill and a little bit of luck, and there is the enemy Benson, and obviously the enemy team is aware that they are currently being kept out. Fortunately, the friendly Mahan does open up. That is an enemy Benson. Obviously, Yuudachi doesn't want to open up until he really has to. Fortunately, the Mahan decides that running at full speed while laying down the smoke screen is the best way to go about it, which does mean that Yuudachi gets the first kill and earns first blood. So, very nice of him. But unfortunately for him, that right there is the enemy Atlanta. And of course, the enemy Atlanta does have radar, and it does have very fast-firing guns. So Yuudachi is going to try his very best not to be detected. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not running premium engine boost. And yeah, that Atlanta pushed in really hard. Which is definitely not a good thing because that, once again, is Atlanta. And Atlanta definitely chews up destroyers relatively quickly. So Yuudachi is going to try to get away as quickly as possible. He does also have the Hatsuharu also opening up on him. And I believe myself, I'm trying my very best to actually get the hits. Does look like the Atlanta finally is no longer in range of detection. And I love that. It does show that the target is not able to be hit by torpedoes, which is very funny. That's fairly new in the game. So, does drop another spread of torpedoes. Surprisingly, Atlanta's not popping radar. May have already popped it, I guess. But this Atlanta pushed way too far forward, and I misspoke. The Atlanta did pop radar right there. Unfortunately, is going to go down. Let's see, is Yuudachi going to get the kill? Yep, that is kill number 2 for Yuudachi. Gets hit by the enemy, I believe Vladivostok? Vladivostok did actually get hit by myself. I actually did get a Citadel. That's why he's so low in health. is going to run right into those torpedoes, and those torpedoes hit pretty darn hard. Over 16,000 right there. Fortunately for Yuudachi, that area is now saturated, and the reduction in damage was actually quite noticeable. It got cut almost in half there. But that Vladivostok is once again very far forward, that he should be able to be focused down. Now I am pulling back because there are two Vladivostoks pushing down the middle, and our eastern front is kind of lacking in its ability. There's two Ds over there with the other Vladivostok, so definitely looks like the eastern front definitely needs some help. So that's where I'm going to go help out the east side, because honestly, Yuudachi is very much where he needs to be. He is in the position where all the battleships are. He is assisting with the enemy destroyers, and he has once again the torpedoes available to drop on those enemy battleships. So if played right, the Asashio's once again a good ship. It as much as crap I give it, always calling it the asshole. And look at that, Yuudachi stealing his third kill, which is really amusing. But as long as it's played right, it can be valuable, and it really, once again, kind of depends on the matchmaking. But definitely this matchmaking is the best for the Asashio, because look at all these juicy little battleships, hopefully going to be dumb enough to sail right into the path of his torpedoes. Unfortunately for us, the Mahan is going to start capturing A. We are actually ahead in ships, and hopefully we should do just fine. Now, of course, with the fact that there's all these battleships, and these are Vladivostoks, which are Russian battleships, they do have their weaknesses. Their long-range capability is severely terrible. Definitely not their most ideal. That's why being in the Richelieu is superb. But unfortunately for myself in the Richelieu, I'm facing off against a Z-23 and a Leningrad, and our wonderful Bismarck with Hydro is running all the way south. So kind of lackluster there. Definitely not favored, to say the very least. It does look like Yuudachi is seeing whether or not his torpedoes are going to hit. I don't think they are. I think they are unfortunately going to miss, which is really unfortunate. Actually, might get a couple. Let's see if he will. Our Miyoko is definitely chancing fate right now with all those Vladivostoks, but it does look like that is a devastating strike on that Vladivostok, and that is kill number 4 for him. Doing very well in this battle. That's actually probably his full health kill there. Now, the issue with Vladivostoks, or Russian battleships in general, is the fact that, yes, they have to be aggressive. If they're not aggressive, they're not going to be able to really do their job. But when they have destroyers that are well within range, their usefulness and their capabilities are very much limited. And look how close Yuudachi is currently getting towards this Vladivostok. This is actually good DD play. The closer you are to your target, more likely your torpedoes are actually going to land on target, the better. So good positioning there. Torpedoes are once again inbound against that Vladivostok. The enemy team is trying to flip A, but it does look like that Vladivostok is currently being focused by the Richelieu. And unfortunately for our Richelieu, is being focused by the enemy CVs. And in a moment now, I should be able to finish off this Z-23. There is Yuudachi's 5th kill of the game. Devastating strike again, detonated the enemy Vladivostok, and has earned Kraken Unleashed. Nice. So the enemy team is very much starting to lose this. All they have left are the 2 carriers, Massachusetts, and that lone Vladivostok, who is surprisingly still alive. So unless they're able to really start taking kills, they're not going to be able to win this. And overall, the Asashio, I think, is a meme ship. It's very well known for its single focus of capabilities. That is probably the best way to really describe it. Now, unfortunately for this Vladivostok, there's not much he can do. He's probably used up the majority of his damage control, which does mean that fire is going to sit for the majority of the time. Does see the enemy Shikaku. Not a bad positioning, obviously. Is doing his very best to support his team. But unfortunately for his team are just melting left and right. And unfortunately for Yuudachi, those torpedoes are not going to hit, which is really unfortunate. Because that would have been nice, because that's the only other ship type that the Asashio can really do against. And it does look like Yuudachi uses his last consumable to get those torpedoes up and ready for this Massachusetts. So things are looking pretty nice. And once again, being a good DD player is knowing your boundaries, knowing how close you can really get. And it's very dangerous. It's always going to be a dangerous prospect, and does take a little bit of time to learn, as well as learning when and how to drop your torpedoes. Torpedoes are on the Massachusetts, but more than likely the Massachusetts is going to push forward. Possibly. Or maybe not. He might just sit in one place at one time. We'll see. Oh yeah, he's sitting there. Those torpedoes are going to be good. It does look like Yuudachi is going to try to go after the carriers. And yeah, that is one dead Massachusetts. There's nothing he can do. Look at that, high caliber. And his kill gets stolen by the enemy Vanguard, which would have been his 6th kill of game. And that's when the Shikaku realizes that the Asashio is super close to him. And he does pop his smoke screen, because obviously the CVs are going to be focusing him now, because they are the most greatest threat. Decent hit on Yuudachi. Does mean that he does have to use his damage control. Unfortunately, he was the one spotting. And wow, looks like the CVs even tried to drop on him. And there we go, finally spotted. Shikaku is running away as quickly as possible, bringing out the rocket planes. And I am actually currently trying to come in to assist. Richelieu is a fast battleship, but obviously not going to be quite as fast as would be preferred. Do get a good hit on him, and I don't know if I really agree with this. Yuudachi goes out of the smoke. He still had about 30 seconds left. Obviously, torpedoes can be an issue, and I don't think he's going to be able to avoid this. Nope. Takes a torpedo on the port side, and Yuudachi is really trying his luck, trying to get torpedoes off on the enemy Ruho. And unfortunately for him, he's going to probably go down. But overall, not a bad game for Yuudachi. Trying to swing his guns around. Obviously, they are the much slower caliber guns. They hit pretty hard, but they fire very, very slow. And unfortunately for him, does go down to the enemy Shikaku, which is really unfortunate. And that is going to be it for Yuudachi. All that's left on the enemy team are these two carriers. And let's see if those torpedoes are going to, in fact, land. It does look he is going to get one, which is decent. Nice. Earned Confederate on that last torpedo hit. Caused a flooding. And he is sitting comfortably at 201,117 points of damage. And there we are. That is all he could do. Very nice game for Yuudachi in the Asashio, or asshole. Let's be real, it is the asshole. Because this ship was designed for a sole purpose of torpedoing battleships and carriers. Fortunately for myself, I am a Richelieu and my A is pretty godly. So even if the carriers are really going to focus me, I'm able to shoot down a lot of planes. And it's once again a very fast battleship. So it does have the possibility of at least avoiding some amount of damage. And unfortunately for us, we're going to survive this. But where are those enemy carriers? Shikaku is still alive somewhere up north. I was really hoping for that Ruho to show up. but the only ones really able to do anything is going to be the carriers. And there's the enemy Shikaku. Unfortunately, my guns are turned completely in the wrong direction. And the friendly Lexington is going to try his very best to take out the enemy target. And unfortunately for myself, I'm going to be, well, let's see, trying to shoot the Shikaku, but unfortunately, ultimately going to be missing that, which is really unfortunate. That is a little bit interesting. Looks like Yuudachi is currently following the planes in on the Lexington, and does look like the Lexington is going to get the kill on this enemy Shikaku. There it goes. There we go. Shikaku is now dead. All that's left on the enemy team is the enemy Ruho, who has wisely decided to run away as quickly as possible. And in about 40 seconds, the match is going to end. And obviously that is a victory. So very nice game with the Asashio, played by Yuudachi. Did a really fantastic job. Earned first blood, 2 devastating strikes, a Kraken Unleashed, high caliber, and Confederate. And there is the enemy Ruho, and this final shot is going to be the death of this Ruho and a Citadel, of course. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Jen.